All right, YouTube, hello. All right, hey guys on YouTube, how we doing? Hello, hello, hello. Let me get TikTok. It's funny. I was like ready, and then it always happens. I'm ready to get rolling, and then for some reason, things like something happens, and I go, shit, I forget something, then I'm running around. So hang on here. Getting my live set up on TikTok. Oh, the light's good there. TikTok. Let's hang on. In the Middle East. All right, that's good. Oops, settings. One sec here. Go. Delete. All right. Hey guys, one sec here. Almost there. Almost there. All right. All right. Going live. Going live on TikTok. There we go. All right. Woo. Much better. Hey, Dave. All right. There we go. TikTok is rolling. Rolling. Excellent. Oh, that's a funny little thing. Subscribe. There we go. Excellent. Oh, okay. Hey guys, sorry to delay a little bit. How are we all doing today? TGIF, exactly. Welcome TikTokers. YouTube. Oh, that's right. That's my rice cooker. I was like, what's the beeping? My rice cooker is letting me know it's going off in an hour or a little less than 40. Well, half an hour actually. Oh boy. How's everybody today? Hello, TikTok. There we go. Now I can see you all better. I'm tired today, man. Flip camera. This is true. I guess that's true. If I show the map, it matters. I was going to say it doesn't really matter, but for the map, it matters. Yeah. And you guys get used to it. See, I never even remember which way is which. Terrified as usual. Yeah. Terrifying day. Actually, I've got another guest we're going to get soon. Neera Tandon, who's the head of the Center for American Progress, big liberal think tank in town, big Democratic think tank, I should say, in town, or progressive, whatever. And Neera worked for Biden, but Neera previously was running CAP. They're very good. Think Progress used to be there. Remember Think Progress when they were a big deal? They were at CAP, the blog. And Neera's really good. We had her on our podcast several years ago. Very smart, strong, fighting. I mean, really good guest. Now, she does not have TikTok. So Neera is one that we're going to be doing on YouTube. So, which I told her, I said, okay, smaller audience on YouTube. But then again, it's nice to have the video on YouTube for future reference. But for TikTok, I guess we'll figure it out. It's probably just going to be, I guess we'll go live and you'll be able to hear Neera is probably the way we're going to do it. And you'll get to see my lovely face. So that still works. Anyway, don't know if they removed the Trump Epstein statue. Didn't actually hear about it today, which I was surprised. It sort of didn't pop up in the news anywhere that I saw. Oh, shake head. Oh, I shake the head and then it turns into a butterfly. That's cute. You can watch on both. I mean, you can watch on both. Yeah, I meant for me, like to try to show it. I really can't show it. Although actually, that's not entirely true. I could. Here's a crazy idea. I don't think I can do it while I'm live, but I can on TikTok, unless I'm crazy, on TikTok, I can I think you can start a TikTok with the camera, with the front and the back camera working, unless I'm totally crazy. Am I wrong about this? When you go live on TikTok, can't you do like both cameras simultaneously? Because I think you can, yeah. Because the only thing is, but God bless TikTok with all of its idiosyncrasies. Oh, pirate, thank you. Thank you, Terry. But on TikTok, you can't do it once you're live, which strikes me as just a ridiculous thing. Like I can flip my camera, but that's all it's letting me do. See, I'll show you my messy kitchen. We're not going to let you see my messy kitchen. But I can't actually do the front and back camera because what I was thinking is I could always put it in front of my computer. You know what I mean? Like here, I'll move in front of my computer right now. Like move in front of my computer and then I'll show you flip camera, right? So you can actually see my computer. There's nothing to see. But I could do it that way, and then you could see Nira through my screen. Of course, I wouldn't be able to see her face, which would be annoying, but we'd have to kind of work on that one, because then I wouldn't be able to see her face. So it's hard to interview somebody if you can't see their face. Well, maybe I could. Anyway, we'll work on this. We'll work on this. So this is a definite possibility. If Trump is going to own TikTok, I have no choice but to remain it. I've got 800,000 followers. What am I going to do? I'm not happy about it, but well, Trump isn't going to own TikTok. His friends are going to own TikTok, but I don't have any choice. I'm too big to fail, too big to leave. Can't go anywhere. I've got YouTube already. My YouTube is this compared to my TikTok. So anyway, could stream YouTube to my TV. Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's funny. That's funny too. I guess that is true. Yeah, the only problem is it'll be off sync on my computer. I do have a backup account on TikTok, Aravosis Backup. All the other ones are fake. But in any case, yeah, if it's on my TV, it won't be simultaneous, which won't be any good. Anyway, so welcome, guys. We've got some news today. Well, there's some big news today, obviously, with the Middle East. I will say there isn't a ton of news today, really. Can they censor it more than they have? Oh, God, yes. Oh, my microphone's on hot. Hang on. I have to turn the mic on hot when I do videos, and then I've got to turn it down when I talk to you guys, and I always forget to turn it back and forth. They can certainly censor much more. Yes. First of all, they used to censor much more. Lately, I've been very lucky on TikTok, knock on wood, right? But when the war first started in Ukraine, for all of us covering Ukraine, like who were fascists, oh boy, it was not fun. It was not fun. Anyway, so welcome, guys. Let's get rolling. As I said, there's not a ton of news, but there's important news. Tomorrow morning and Sunday morning, I've got my special show. We do our coffee talk for the paid monthly subscribers. So on TikTok, YouTube, and Discord tomorrow morning, anybody who's a monthly subscriber, join us at 11 a.m. Eastern. On TikTok, that's all the SNN people. On YouTube, everybody whose name is in color, not gray. On Discord, everybody's name who's in color as well and not white. So all of you join me tomorrow morning. And then Sunday morning is the VIP, but basically the people who are spending almost $25 a month. They get their own special show once a month on Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern again. Very few people, but any of you around, join us. And then usually like the second half of the show, I kind of open it up to I don't remember if I open it up to everybody or all the subscribers. I can't remember now. I don't remember. I open it up a lot. We'll put it that way. I don't remember how much. Thank you for the gift, Big Hawk. Appreciate that. So let's get rolling. So Hamas, I am skeptical. Hamas accepted Trump's peace deal. Kinda. Hamas said, we accept the deal. We will let the Israeli hostages go. We'll let the Israeli bodies go. Oh, once we negotiate some of the details. And I heard that and went, honestly, it sounds like Netanyahu. Netanyahu, the Israeli prime minister, is famous for they always say he's famous for agreeing to stuff in Washington and then going to Israel back home and then going, well, it's complicated. So, let's see. Wall Street Journal that's everyone else has been saying, oh my God, they're going to release the hostages. And I listened and went, everything I'm reading sounds like releasing the hostages after we negotiate all the details, which will be impossible to negotiate. Wall Street Journal said the same thing. Listen to this. Per the Wall Street Journal, Hamas said Friday it was ready to release the remaining hostages in Gaza as long as certain conditions of a broader peace agreement were met. Notice that? Wall Street Journal said what I said. Hamas said Friday it was ready to release the remaining hostages in Gaza as long as certain conditions of a broader peace agreement were met, offering no clear position on other elements of President Trump's 20-point peace plan. So, A, they're releasing the hostages if they agree, if everything else works out, so we don't know. B, they didn't agree necessarily about whether they're giving up power entirely. They did say they would give up power to a panel of Palestinian technocrats, whatever the hell that means. They didn't explain whether they would be a member of that panel. They didn't say whether they were giving up all their weapons and leaving, or going for peace or whatever. So it's not, this strikes me as very unclear. Now, one thing was kind of funny. Trump had, I laughed when I read this last night. Trump had threatened Hamas like in the last day. He did this long tweet this morning, I think it was, this long tweet threatening them and saying, if you don't agree to this treaty, I'm going to come down on you so hard, you're going to regret it, like by Sunday or something. And I'm going, wait a minute. Didn't he already do that 2 months ago or 2 or 3 months ago? Remember he threatened Hamas and said, you better agree to this, or he said, give up all the hostages, including the American hostages, or we're going to blow you up or something. And he didn't. We didn't attack Gaza. He lied. So, and by the way, Vladimir Putin has also been on the receiving end of a few of Donald Trump's promises for or else. And Trump, remember the famous 2-week thing. So, any case, I don't know that any deal has been reached, to be honest. So there. This gets interesting, though. Trump just ordered Israel to stop bombing Gaza. He did it publicly. Of course, Trump decided to do it via a tweet, which is just ridiculous, or one of his tweets or whatever. Listen to this. Trump ordered Israel to stop bombing Gaza. He gave the directive after Hamas said it had accepted some elements of his plan to end the nearly 2-year war. I believe they are ready for a lasting peace, Trump said via social media. Israel must immediately stop the bombing of Gaza so that we can get the hostages out safely and quickly. Right now, it's far too dangerous to do that. Oh, interesting. So he's kind of agreeing. That was a concession. By the way, Trump just did a concession to Hamas. Kind of stupid. Thank you, Carrie. Very nice gift. That's not one of our special ones, is it? Or is that an Ask Me Anything? No, that's not an Ask Me Anything. Okay, I can never tell. Thank you, Carrie. That's a very nice one. I appreciate that. Israel must immediately stop bombing Gaza so that we can get the hostages out safely and quickly. Right now, it's far too dangerous to do that. We are already in discussions on details to be worked out. By saying it's far too dangerous to get the hostages out unless Israel stops bombing, you've now made a concession. You've now said, oh, okay, Hamas, I know you said you were going to release the hostages, but even Donald Trump says it's far too dangerous to release them. So you can wait. Thanks, Donald. And Israel first has to stop all the bombing. Now, not that we don't want Israel to stop the bombing, but that was another concession. Yeah, that's Trump. But it's interesting. I mean, it's interesting that he ordered Israel to stop bombing. That's not bad. That's okay. Again, it's not bad. I mean, it's a good thing. It's kind of like Putin. It's kind of like Trump and Putin. Whenever he's anti-Putin and wants to defend Ukraine, he's going to flip at some point again, but it's still better than the opposite. So, good that Trump is pushing for peace. The Nobel I was sort of thinking about the Nobel Prize thing. Trump is doing all of this because he wants the Nobel Prize. He has every possible war on the planet he has tried to stop or solve or stop from happening or whatever, because he keeps trying to claim he deserves the Nobel Prize. And he literally is trying to get the Nobel Prize. So I was doing some research today as to who gets the Nobel Prize. And it looks like it's kind of vague, meaning, can bad people get the Nobel Prize? Yes. Henry Kissinger got the Nobel Prize. Yasser Arafat got the Nobel Prize. He was a terrorist for a long time, but then he got the Nobel Prize because he came for peace. I would argue Yasser Arafat probably deserved the Nobel Prize. Hey, thank you, Arden, for becoming a Patriot Launcher. Appreciate that. Becoming a subscriber on YouTube. Because Yasser Arafat, he was the leader of the Palestinians. Of course, if two people are fighting, even if one's a terrorist, if you come to peace, you both get the prize for making a monumental peace. That's okay with me, right? So I don't have a problem with that. The Joseph Stalin was a famous one that ChatGPT, I had to look into this. Joseph Stalin arguably could have gotten the Nobel Peace Prize for helping end World War II. He didn't, because he was an evil, murderous dictator who killed tens of millions of people. But Henry Kissinger got the Nobel Peace Prize for Vietnam, right? After Henry Kissinger did a lot of very bad things in Vietnam. Interesting. Nixon didn't get it. So then part of the discussion became did Nixon not get it because they thought Nixon was too far? Our president then was just way too bad? But then again, Henry Kissinger was arguably very bad, but he got a Nobel Prize. So it's a very interesting question as to whether they look at who you are at your other actions. Because in Trump's case, the problem is, in Trump's case, if he achieves peace between Gaza and Israel, that could be worthy of a Nobel Prize, except that in every other aspect of his life, he's been a warmonger, right? He has threatened or almost started 8 or 10 other wars this year alone, right? Threatened to go to war with Greenland, threatened to go to war with Denmark, threatened Canada, threatened Mexico, threatened Panama. He was going to invade. Said earlier he had threatened to bomb Moscow and Beijing. He did bomb Iran. He absolutely went to war with Iran. He's now at war with the narco traffickers, an illegal war. Thank you, Norway. An illegal war down south in the Caribbean. Well, further south of the Caribbean. I guess that's still Caribbean, though. Is it still Caribbean off of? I guess it is. It's still Caribbean off of Venezuela. I'm assuming it is. Do you get the Nobel Prize when you arguably are kind of a warmonger? Which is ironic because Trump came. Remember, Trump was like, "We're going to stop going to war. We're going to end all the American wars." He hasn't. I mean, he's even found wars at home, right? He declared war, like I said, a fake war on the narco traffickers. He's declared war on half of America now, saying we have an enemy within and we have to use the military to go, I guess, kill Americans in Chicago and Portland and everywhere else. I mean, how many? But it's a really interesting question. Should the Nobel Peace Prize Committee, which I think is like 5 Norwegian members of parliament, should they take into account who you are, even if what you did, let's argue that what you did is meritorious for a Nobel Peace Prize. Let's pretend. I'm not saying Trump did, but let's pretend. Do you look at who the person is, A, as being an awful human being, B, as being an awful human being who is a warmonger, right? Who basically lives and breathes war against his own citizens, against people internationally? Do you give him a peace prize because in one conflict he helped stop it, and in 30 others he's declared war on people? That's an interesting. I mean, I really mean it. I think it's a very interesting question as to what do you do? It's a very interesting question. Yeah. Anyway. My guess is there's no way in hell the Nobel Peace Prize Committee. Now, one thing you could do. Hey, Annie, thank you. Would you like our Halloween goat, darling, or what would you like? Or our little one, or our big one? We want Halloween. Okay, we're doing it since we're talking about Trump anyway. One more time. There we go. Thank you, Annie. Now one possibility too. Actually, this gets even weirder. Okay, this is what gets even weirder. If you give it to Trump, then are you giving it to Netanyahu? Okay, I mean, are you giving it to Netanyahu and Hamas as well? So Hamas is still a terrorist group. It's not like they've changed their colors right here. Hamas is a terrorist group. Netanyahu has done war crimes, clearly. And Trump is a horrific human being who has tried to go to war repeatedly in just 8 months. Do you really give all 3 of them a Nobel Peace Prize? I mean, literally, all 3 of them are just distasteful. All of them are distasteful. Hamas is a terrorist group, a resistance group. They're terrorists. It just so happens that they're fighting people who are doing some bad things, but they're still terrorists. They're horrific terrorists. By the way, when's the last time they held an election in Gaza? Just to remember that somebody just said Hamas is a resistance group. Really? When's the last time that resistance group held a free election? Oh, was that 2006, I believe? 2007? That they won the elections and then decided, no more elections. We're doing fine. We're happy in power, being a little dictators. Yeah, no, they're a brutal, horrific terrorist group. But Netanyahu's bad too. And Trump is awful. So, yeah, there's no way Trump deserves the Nobel Prize. Government shutdown. So government shutdown still going on. Thank you for the gift there, Kathy. Keep the gifts coming, guys. Government shutdown still going on. The Republicans in the House have decided they're going on vacation next week. They put the House into recess. They're not going to work. They're going to go home. They're just going to go home. The government shut down. They're going home. They're like, la, 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 la. La, la, la. Oh, interesting, WC. So the part that gets close to Panama is not, or that gets close to Colombia is not Caribbean. Interesting. Anyway, of course, they're a horrific terrorist group. Thank you, Limoncello. I think it's poor. I think it's a huge mistake of the Republicans to basically say we're going on vacation for a week when the government shut down. It's not good. It also makes things look bad if when Trump is now killing all of these programs. Trump announced another program in Chicago he's killing now, transportation program. Thank you, Kat. Killed a program in New York. Killed a program, help me out. Where was the other one? New York, and the other one he killed yesterday. And then today he killed one in Chicago. Trump is trying to basically punish Americans who live in states that voted for Kamala Harris. And he's trying to punish all of us by taking away our federal projects, which again is what you do in a dictatorship. It's what you do in fascism. You don't do that in America. That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. Lovely. But anyway, but I think if with Trump doing that, while he goes, Chicago, I believe, is a new subway line. I'm pretty sure. If he does that while, oh, hello, thank you. That was cute, the naughty chicken, Jamie. Thank you. If the Republicans put the House on vacation while Trump is cutting all these programs, I think that's going to look really bad. I'm glad they're doing it because it does make them look bad, but it looks bad. What else we got? Interesting article today on whether Trump is getting worried about apparently his staff is getting very worried, the White House staff, because new polls, trusted polls coming out showing that an overwhelming majority of Americans, like 70% want the Affordable Care Act subsidies reinstated. That's been like two of the big Democratic demands are, one, put $1 trillion back into Medicaid, because the Republicans cut all this money for Medicaid to give the rich the tax cuts in Trump's one big beautiful bill. People are not happy about that. Democrats and Republicans are not happy about that because it was a lot of Republicans who the money went to. And Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, there are subsidies for premiums. I get them. A lot of people get them because it's very expensive. My premiums, I've told you guys, my health insurance premiums, are $1,500 a month. And next year, they're probably going to go up 10 or 15%. I bet you they will. I guarantee you they will. They always do. Sometimes they go up more. They've gone up 20% a month sometimes, which would be horrific at $1,500. So what the Democrats are saying is because the subsidies for premiums are running out this year, and Republicans said, we're not going to renew them, people's premiums could double come January. A lot of people are going to lose insurance, like 5 million, and a lot of other people, their premiums could double. For me, my premiums could go up, my premiums could go up 2,400, 6,000, 6,400. I could have to pay $6,400 more next year. Actually, I just did the calculations of the inflation too. That's really bad. And anyway, the poll showed overwhelmingly Americans want the Congress to reinstate the premiums, which the Democrats are demanding. Democrats, of course, but even Republicans, something like 57% of Republicans want the premiums passed, want the subsidies passed. That's interesting when even Republicans are very much in favor of this, right? So Democrats have a winning argument. Second of all, the polls show that voters are willing to take revenge on any candidates who oppose the premiums. They said, if the premiums die, who will you be more likely to vote for? And by 15 percentage points, they chose Democrats over Republicans. So that has, and big Republican pollsters like Tony Fabrizio have been writing Republicans and saying, you need to look out for this. Is very dangerous what's happening next year with all of this. Oh, hello. Thank you for the Forest Elf Garden Girl. Very concerned about what's going to happen with the elections next year for Republicans if this keeps going. So let's see the poll numbers. Oh, also the poll numbers, I don't have in front of me. Something like 4 different polls today show that voters blame Republicans more than Democrats for the shutdown. Every single poll is showing this. So as much as we kind of get worried about Democrats, and they don't message well, Republicans are not doing well with the shutdown. I just read an article that said that apparently Republicans have been ordered to double down on their lies because the truth is bad, right? The truth is Republicans don't want to fund healthcare. They don't want to continue the Affordable Care Act subsidies so that your premiums are going to double or possibly no insurance at all. And the voters hate that, including Republican voters. So they ordered Republicans this afternoon to keep promoting the lie about illegal immigrants getting health care, and that's what Democrats are doing. Just to reiterate, you can Google this yourself to every single fact check out there. It is illegal under American law for illegal immigrants to get federal Medicaid money, federal Medicare money, federal Obamacare, Affordable Care Act money. It's banned under federal law. Thank you, Annie. You're being very generous. I mean, you're always being very generous, Annie, but thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Yohani, as well. So people who are here illegally are banned from getting federal benefits for healthcare. They can't. And Republicans keep lying about it because, the one issue they do well on is healthcare. Or not healthcare, is immigration. The issue they do poorly on is healthcare. So they're trying to change the healthcare debate into an immigration debate, but it's a lie. So it's like, oh, well. But anyway, it was very funny. They were ordered today to keep lying. They were ordered today to ramp up the lies. And then now they're having some of those outside groups. The outside groups are going to do some advertising and stuff too to convince people that Democrats are giving money to people, people who are here illegally. It's just such bullshit. I mean, again, it's an absolute lie. And I've always said this too. You've got to wonder about a political party that feels the only way it can win is by lying to its voters. That should trouble Republican voters. That their own, and again, they did this on January 6th. They did this with COVID. They've done it now with all the healthcare stuff with RFK Jr. And now they're doing it with this stuff, with the shutdown. They for some reason, they feel like the lie is better than the truth, that the lie will help unite their party more than the truth, And well, I mean, it's always been a problem with the Republicans, really. Democrats don't message well, but Democrats tend to tell the truth. There's a lot of lies on the Republican side, especially the MAGA side. And it's sort of a basic distrust of their own voters, which ought to bother the voters, but doesn't. Representative Jared Huffman, Democrat of California. I thought this was an interesting quote. I like this, talking about the shutdown. He says, "I marvel at the naivete of any Democrat who thinks we should give them, Republicans, Democratic votes so they can just turn around and ignore us, crash the healthcare system, and dismantle what's left of our democracy." And I was thinking about that. And honestly, at this point, the problem is Democrats would have a hard time messaging around it. But we shouldn't fund anything anymore at this point. If Trump is going to dismantle our democracy, Democrats should say, you're not getting any more money at all. Thank you, Luis, for the goggles. You're not getting any more money at all. You're a fascist. You're breaking the law. You're going back on commitments of every piece of legislation that we passed saying what you got to spend money on. You're not spending it anyway. And now you're dismantling our democracy and declaring war on our citizens. You know what? You're not getting any more money. I mean, and again, this is what, our role as well, as far as needing to, oh, hey, Hanan. Hanan just said, welcome from Iraq. I don't know that we've had too many Iraqis before. Nice to meet you. I guess salam alaikum, I guess you'd say. I was going to say, how would you say hello in Iraq? In Iraqi, you'd say it in Arabic, salam alaikum. Nice to meet you, Hanan. That's funny. I got worried. I saw somebody write in Arabic and I thought, oh no, what are they writing? And then it said, greetings from Iraq. We've had a couple of Iraqis. Yeah, I don't remember too much. That's nice though. Very nice to meet you. It's late in Iraq, I would think. Peace be. Thank you. He said, was it alaikum salam? I think they say in response. I can't read Arabic, but the translation. Yeah, the translation said the same. Oh, and marhaba. That's the other thing. Well, I know three things. I know marhaba, which is like, again, hello, how are you? And then I know something really offensive, which I will not. I know two things really offensive in Arabic, which I will not say. So I would never say them. They're very bad. So yes, we're not going to say that. Anyway, Anyway, so what else? Hang on, we do have some other stories here. All right. I'm sorry, but I forgot to say the final point. Because the polls are so bad about the shutdown, especially about healthcare, the Trump staff in the White House are actually getting very worried about the shutdown. Trump himself is being Mr. Tough Guy, but the staff in the White House is actually getting very worried, which I thought was very interesting. Trump publicly is like, oh, we're going to keep it going forever. But the staff is getting worried, which is good. What else we got here? Chicago. Oh, God, a horrific story out of Chicago today. ICE and assorted other agencies, the immigration agencies, raided an apartment building in Chicago, either yesterday or in the last couple of days. They reportedly used a Black Hawk helicopter or something crazy. Like, okay, it's an apartment building in Chicago. Chicago's a big city. There's lots of roads. You don't need a black helicopter to parachute ICE in to take an apartment building out. They did it because it's cool. I mean, we are dealing with children dressed as, or I should say men with the mentality of children. They plummeted onto this apartment building. They claimed, well, we believed there were bad gang members there. Okay. They took over the apartment. Listen to this. They took over the apartment building. They broke the door to get in. They broke individual people's doors. They took a bunch of old ladies and they arrested them. I mean, no, detained them. I'm sorry, it's an arrest. One old lady, she said, I walked into the hallway to see what was happening in my nightgown, and the guy put a gun in my face, and she goes, I've never had a gun in my face. But mind you, imagine somebody like your mom or your grandma. And she goes, I'm wearing a nightgown, right? She's in her little nightdress. 10 o'clock at night, she hears a noise. She steps into the hallway and he puts a gun in her face. And she says, I've never had a gun in my face before. And he goes, do you have any court warrants against you? And she goes, no. And he goes, well, I don't believe you. And he detains her for 5 hours. They took her away for 5 hours. They did this to a ton of old ladies. She saw a number of the women, they're all American, by the way. All the old ladies they did this to were American. Some of the American old ladies said they saw children coming down the stairs, and we're talking small children with their hands tied in those zip ties, those plastic handcuffs they use. Small children in the zip ties, some of them naked, reportedly. I mean, unbelievable. They were asked, I don't think I've got the quote here. I did it in my video. I've got to find the quote now. I have to find the quote. They were talking about, hold on. Shoot. Now I've got to find the quote because it's in my video, but I'm not sure. Where is this? Hold on. I've got to find this. One moment here. Oh, here we go. They treated us like we were nothing. Fisher said she was, she was handcuffed. The old lady in the nightgown, they handcuffed her. They handcuffed the old lady in the nightgown. Fisher said she was handcuffed before being released around 3 a.m. And she was told that if anyone had any kind of warrant out for them, even if it was unrelated, they would not be released. She said they like piling us all up and back on the other side, and it wasn't any room to move. As I got to stick my key in the door, I was grabbed by an officer, and I said, what's going on? What's going on? He never actually told me. He said I was being detained, said Alicia Brooks. Neighbors like Ebony Watson said they ducked for cover as they heard several flashbangs. This is ABC News. They used flashbangs. Flashbangs are the things like the military and the FBI use. They're like little grenades that explode, and instead of doing damage, they do blindness damage, a loud and deafening noise and blinding light. But they used them against old ladies. American ladies. I mean, think adventure. Not like it would be okay against illegal ladies, but my God, right? They were terrified. The kids were crying. People were screaming. They looked very distraught. I was out there crying when I saw this little girl come around the corner because they were bringing kids down too. They had them zip tied to each other. That I just kept asking, what is the morality? Where's the humanity? One of the ICE guys literally laughed. He was standing right here and he said, F-U-C-K them kids. Again, this is true. Some old mom or some old grandma being interviewed is not making this story up. And she said, where's the humanity? These are children. And the ICE guy responded, F-U-C-K those kids. Yeah. This is inhuman. This is absolutely inhuman. We were under siege. We're being invaded by our own military. They had black people in one van and the immigrants in another van. They segregated them. They had a van for black people. That was nice. Unbelievable. Destruction was left behind inside the apartment complex. The doors were blown off their hinges and holes left in the walls. I mean, unbelievable, these people. I got to find the beginning of the article. Hold on. She came out of the hallway of her apartment complex at 10 p.m. in her nightgown, only to find armed ICE agents yelling, police. It was scary because I'd never had a gun in my face, she said. They asked me my name and my date of birth and asked me, did I have any warrants? And I told them, no, I didn't. Because again, she's like, I didn't have any warrants. You get this. It's absolutely horrific. Again, we're only going to have more of this the longer they get away with it. This is why I think there's an element of, the problem is, I don't know if they'd get away with it, but there's an element of Democrats maybe should shut down the government and just say, this is fascist. It's un-American. It's undemocratic. And I mentioned the Black Hawk stuff, Elliot. Yeah. Horrific. Absolutely horrific. I mean, it's insane. Let me pull this up again. Hold on. Just look at one more thing here. Nice. Oops. One moment. Where is this? Here we go. Oh, this was 2 days ago, this story. Oh, actually, well, somebody thought it was a Black Hawk. This one guy says, my building is shaking. So I'm like, what is that? I look out the window. It's a Black Hawk helicopter. My guess is it's a black helicopter. It probably wasn't a Black Hawk, but still, why these guys needed to come in helicopters, right? They treated us like we were nothing, said one of the women who lives there. Yeah, she's the one in the nightgown. Yeah, this was Chicago. This was an apartment complex, a low-income Black and Latino apartment complex in Chicago. And they used helicopters to rappel the ICE agents down like they were Mission Impossible. They were attacking an apartment building full of old ladies. And they used helicopters. Yeah. And then they took small children, many of them naked, and zip-tied them together and arrested the small children. They arrested the old Black grandmothers too. They're all over the story, interviewing these women, talking about like what the F. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, a training mission. Exactly, Tiffany. As Trump said, he's doing training missions for the U.S. military. No, this stuff is out. The thing is, again, somebody's going to get killed. You do this to children, you do this to old ladies, and they're going to get killed. And the problem is, just because somebody's here illegally, that doesn't warrant possibly killing old ladies, possibly injuring children, right? I mean, it's just unbelievable. They were ICE. No, they were ICE. They weren't military. They were ICE. They were ICE and other agencies, but they were ICE. Yeah. Yeah, they don't care. No, and they don't care. Horrific story. A gay FBI agent. Trump just fired a gay FBI agent for being gay. Well, what a surprise. All the gay Republicans told us, remember, he doesn't like trans, but he likes the gays. No, fires gays too. So this story is, again, outrageous. This guy will probably win in court. A gay FBI agent, important, under Joe Biden, okay? It's Pride Month. And under Joe Biden, he had a small pride flag on his desk. Okay? Under Joe Biden. You're allowed to do that. Somebody reported him. Somebody reported him once Trump came to power and said, that guy is gay. That guy had a small pride flag on his desk during Pride. So they fired him because of his pride flag that he had last year under Joe Biden when it was allowed. Okay? Now, a few things. One, it was allowed. So you can't get him now. You cannot, and I mean, I'm hoping the court agrees. You can't claim today he violated policy when he did it a year ago. It was okay with the policy, right? You can't do that to people. Secondly, they claimed and Kash Patel himself, the big ridiculous guy with the eyes, the MAGA activist who now runs the FBI, the crazy guy. He said he did it personally. He fired the gay guy. And he said he did it because the flag was political and you're not allowed to bring politics into the world. Okay, this FBI that exists to persecute the Democrats exclusively, this FBI that is acting like a police state, that is acting like the Stasi in East Germany, okay, that is acting like the secret police in Russia, that is acting like the secret police famous under the Shah in Iran. This FBI that exists now to put Democrats in prison for simply being Democrats who Donald Trump doesn't like. That is their mission. They've admitted it. Trump admitted it. This FBI claims it's a crime to be the NKVD, that was it. Yep. It's a crime to be, and then like the Cheka or whatever, which was the Soviets at the beginning under Lenin. Like there's lots of famous secret police in history. We've now got the FBI as now a secret, and ICE as now America's secret police. This FBI has the nerve to say, if you're political, you'll get fired because the guy had a pride flag. Here's the problem. And this gets to be a freedom of speech problem. And I think Kash Patel screwed up by calling it political. They've got a rule about being political in the office. A pride flag isn't political. A pride flag probably means he's gay. Usually it means you're gay, unless you're straight. Now, if you're straight and you have a pride flag, that gets a little more interesting, right? Because then you're taking a stand for gay people. Is that political? Maybe. But if your pride flag is, I'm gay and I'm proud of being gay, that's not political. So this guy during Pride Month having a flag, it would be akin to somebody Jewish having a menorah, or not even a menorah because it's religious, but a Star of David on their desk or something, right? Because they're Jewish, or you're black or something, right? So, I mean, it's disgusting. It's absolutely, absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. But this is what they do. So now Trump is firing gay people for being gay. And somebody reported him and they investigated and decided to fire him. Right? I mean, again, this is secret police. The FBI doesn't allow politics. The FBI has no more credibility. It is a political organ of a police state now. That is what, sadly, our FBI has become. They cannot be trusted. They are not credible. They are the organs of a police state because of what they're doing to James Comey. It's not like the FBI objected to being ordered to go after James Comey, right? Kash Patel's loving this. He's a MAGA activist, right? The Department of Justice, they're loving this. They're going after, Trump ordered it publicly for them to investigate and prosecute his political enemies. No one has done that before. Richard Nixon, a little bit. No one else has done this. Joe Biden, by the way, Joe Biden, I was thinking about this the other day. Republicans love to talk, oh, Joe Biden investigated Donald Trump. Joe Biden didn't investigate Donald Trump. In fact, Joe Biden refused to investigate Donald Trump, and that's why Donald Trump is in the White House today rather than prison, okay? Joe Biden appointed two Republican special prosecutors that investigated lots of stuff, and Trump got in trouble, as did his cohorts, right? Because the Republican special prosecutors. But you know who else Joe Biden investigated? Joe Biden investigated his own son. Joe Biden set up a special prosecutor to look at his own son, and his son got into real trouble as a result because of Joe Biden. Joe Biden investigated, what's his face? Menendez, the U.S. Senator, Democrat, New Jersey. Joe Biden investigated countless Democrats. Has Donald Trump investigated even one Republican? Even one? Oh, James Comey, right? The only Republicans Donald Trump investigates are the ones who are his political enemies, right? And Biden, by the way, Biden didn't investigate his son. It was the Department of Justice. Biden didn't investigate Senator Menendez. Biden had no role in any of it, right? Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Yeah. Anyway, Putin, a little bit about Ukraine here. So Putin, New York Times, President Putin warned the United States late Thursday against sending powerful cruise missiles to Ukraine, but he quickly added that he did not expect such deliveries to happen, in the latest sign that the Russian leader is continuing to bet that he can keep a warm relationship with Donald Trump. He described the American president as someone who loves to shock a little, but who also knows how to listen. Now, the only thing is, Putin's being a little dumb there. He thinks he's complimenting Trump. What Putin is actually saying there is that Donald Trump's a taco. He's saying Donald Trump caves, right? He loves to shock a little, but then he listens, meaning he threatens, but he never follows through on his threats. That's interesting. That is not the kind of thing, that's not the kind of thing that I would necessarily say to win Donald Trump over to my side, right? I mean, he thinks he's making a compliment. I don't think that's a compliment, right? He loves to shock a little, but he also knows how to listen. He's not gonna go through with it. Yeah, exactly. It's how you say taco in Russian. Exactly. Ukraine says Russia has been targeting Ukraine's energy infrastructure in massive strikes ahead of winter. Zelensky says just today, Russia struck our gas infrastructure with 35 missiles, including ballistic missiles. It was a combined strike, and only half of the missiles were shot down. So leading into winter, Russia's trying to do as much damage as they can to Ukraine's electrical infrastructure. U.S. government shutdown has reportedly put Ukrainian weapons deliveries at risk. Disruption has stalled meetings between Ukrainian officials and U.S. counterparts from the Pentagon, State Department, and White House, according to the Telegraph. Orban, our wonderful wannabe Soviet dictator of Hungary. Really, I'm really disappointed in the Hungarian people, I got to say. They voted for this guy twice. He's been wildly popular in Hungary, and to me, he looks and sounds like a Soviet dictator. He looks and sounds like exactly the people who sold the Hungarians out in the 1900s, in the second half of the 1900s, when Hungary was a Soviet dictatorship and they were a Soviet puppet. And this guy would like, very old school. He is very old. He's even his weight, his face, the way he dresses, his hair, it's all old school Soviet. And for the Hungarian people to want to go back, Kara, the problem is the polls have been too good, and he got reelected. They voted them back in. No, I mean, I'm with you because Kara says I'm Hungarian, we hate him, but you vote, not you. It's like Donald Trump. I cannot claim at this point that Americans don't like Donald Trump. They voted for him twice, right? This time, these idiots put him back in power. I mean, what are you going to say at this point? You can't you can't deny it, right? Listen to this. So the Orban talking about Ukraine joining the European Union. Hungarians don't want to be in the same EU with Ukrainians because Ukraine's fate is to be beside Russia. Okay, that's very funny. Ukraine's fate is to be beside Russia, says the guy who wishes he was Russian, the guy who wishes that Hungary was Russia's puppet yet again, a Soviet puppet, says Ukraine's fate is to be beside Russia. He said, Hungary won't share Ukraine's difficult destiny or risk being drawn into war with Russia. We won't die for Ukraine. There's a simple way for Hungarians not to be in the same EU as the Ukrainians. Leave. Just leave. At this point, and I'm really sorry because I know we've got a nice Hungarian with us today who doesn't like Orban. Hungarians should just get out of NATO and get out of the EU. Now, Trump won't do it. Democrats don't really have the balls to do it, and Trump won't do it. But they ought to turn around and say, get out. Just get out. If you don't want to be part of this alliance, leave. The problem is the EU doesn't want to lose more members, right? And the NATO has never lost a member, so NATO doesn't really want to lose a member. I still think at some point you tell these people to put up or shut up. And you tell the Hungarians just that. If you don't want billions of dollars in subsidies from the EU, goodbye, right? Go join Russia. You can import lots of potatoes and lots of cabbage, and you'll be very happy importing potatoes and cabbage from the Russians. And you can live, instead of under protection from Europe and NATO and the America and Canada, you can live under the protection of Mother Russia and see how well that works out for you. Oh, that's right. The previous time you did that, they invaded you and killed your students. That's right. I forget, right? 1956 was Hungary, right? So we know what happens when Hungary is under Russia's protection, but NATO and the EU ought to tell them outright and say, you don't want to be members, leave, get out. I really would. I would say, get out. And I would, because also too, wouldn't it be fun to confront Orban? Oop, that's my rice. Let me unplug my rice so it can sit for 20 minutes. One moment. Oops, there we go. Hey Siri, set a timer for 20 minutes. But wouldn't it be fun for like NATO and the Europeans to really, but I would confront him and say, get out. Just get out, leave, and see what he says. Oop, my white balance is off now. I don't know why on TikTok. But it'd be interesting to see what he says if you did that, right? Make him say, no, we want to stay. No, we want to be a part of NATO. No, we want to be a part of the EU. You know, here, we'll do a goat, although that's for Orban. Oh, you just did. I did it early before I saw your gift. I did it before I saw your gift. You're funny. You're very funny. I assume you want the Halloween goat again? Halloween goat again? I think Orban does want to destroy the EU. There we go. I don't know why my white, oh, there we go. Now it's correct. I was saying why my white balance is so weird. It's a little better now on TikTok. There we go. It was very yellow and weird on TikTok. I don't know why. Yes, my rice cooker. I love my rice cooker. This I got on Amazon, but it was pretty good. It was like $9, I think, which, it's okay, right? It was a good little deal. I have no Halloween festivities planned, but I do like Halloween. So I haven't been to Halloween parties in years. I love Halloween, but there hasn't really been, I think it's unfortunate, but like, as I've gotten older, like all the friends have kind of disappeared. Like we used to always have parties and stuff, and it's just kind of, bummed me out, I've said about the AI video. Let me see, WC Fields and Dust Bunny. I saw Dust Bunny. I read Bad Bunny. A Trump post AI video called Grim Reaper. I saw it. Yes, I already saw it. Yeah, I'm not going to publicize it, but yeah. As for the Tomahawks, so is it true the Tomahawks are going to Ukraine? Not necessarily. Trump is allegedly considering it. The problem is Trump is a taco. Trump flip-flops. So I would be very surprised if Trump gives Tomahawk cruise missiles. He will do it if Putin pisses him off. That's why Putin suddenly, as of yesterday, was like, he also said yesterday, I want full and normal relations with America. We need to restore our full and normal relations. He said that because Trump is pissed. And Medvedev and all of Putin's cronies have been attacking Trump and being a dick. And Trump has had it, which is why Trump is now considering giving Tomahawks to Ukraine. So that's the interesting thing there. I think, right, you're saying Putin is worried that he went too far. I never even understood what the point was in being so anti-Trump, to be honest. For the Russians, I thought it was stupid, But $1 coin, what $1 coin? Anyway. Trump wanted to give King Charles one of Eisenhower's swords? No. I mean, again, he's going to do this to everybody. He is going to manhandle and browbeat like a good little dictator. Let me pull this up. Yeah. Listen to this. After declining to give Trump a sword for King Charles, a museum leader is out. The departure of Todd Arrington, who led the Dwight Eisenhower Presidential Library Museum, came after the administration sought a sword from its collection as a gift for King Charles. President Trump wanted a gift for King Charles. Ahead of his state visit to Britain last month, the administration began looking for an artifact relating to President Eisenhower that the president could give the British monarch. A sword, perhaps, or something else that spoke to Eisenhower's role as the supreme commander of the Allied forces in World War II. Through a personal email address, an administration official approached the Dwight Eisenhower Presidential Library, which has at least one Eisenhower sword in its collection, given to him in 1947 by the Queen of the Netherlands. But the library declined to release it or any other original artifacts in its collection. I don't blame them, on the grounds that they're the property of the U.S. government, which the library is obligated by law to preserve for the American people. Instead, Trump wound up giving King Charles a replica sword, and this week the director is out, forced from his job. Mr. Arrington reached by phone, confirmed he was pressured to resign. He said he had been told that he could no longer be trusted with confidential information. Oh, that's such a Trump line. No other explanation was provided, he said, and he added that he had not received any noticeable pushback after his refusal to provide the sword. Arrington expressed dismay that his refusal to provide an Eisenhower sword could have been a factor that led to his resignation. I never imagined that I would be fired from almost 30 years of government service for this. I would absolutely come back in a heartbeat. 3 other people described the conflict. Jesus. Yeah. Man. Wow. Unbelievable. I mean, this is who they are. Everything is police state. Everything is vengeance. You know? I know he shouldn't resign. He shouldn't have resigned. He should have said, no, force me out. Let's have a big scandal. You want to force me out? Force me out. Because I wouldn't give this guy, not to mention, he would have taken the sword and stolen it and given the fake one to the king. I guarantee you. You know? Our government is fascist. It is still quasi-democracy, but it is fascist. Absolutely. I don't think anything further needs to happen now. He's a fascist. This is no longer a pure. What was the word people were using? I don't know if they were calling it an oligarchy, but it's no longer a pure democracy. No, or republic, whatever you want to call it. It's authoritarian and it's clearly fascist. I think because of the police state tactics and the violence. Yeah, concept of a democracy. That was cute, Julian. That was cute, Julian. You know, I mean, it is an oligarchy if it's ruled by the rich, and it's only been it's a kleptocracy as well. Yep. No, it's very bad. Obviously, very bad. You know. Anyway, oh my God. Oh, what else, guys? My rice is still sitting for another 20 minutes, or another 10 minutes, I should say, not 20. Oh boy. Why I won't run for president? I don't like politics from a politician standpoint. I like helping politicians. I don't want to be a politician. You know what I mean? So like working for politicians, maybe. Yeah, I see exactly. When you highlight my name, I see the comment. Otherwise, it's very hard to see the comments because also it means I've got to read every single comment on every single thing, and I can't do that. Well, especially because TikTok is flying by. But even for you guys, yeah, I can't read every single thing. But if my name is highlighted actually, I didn't think of that before, Rob. You're right. When my name's highlighted, I know to check it out. Dear God. The Treasury Department is considering producing a $1 coin featuring Donald Trump to commemorate the 250th anniversary of U.S. independence. Jesus Christ. The draft design of the coin features Trump's profile on one side. The other depicts Trump with a clenched fist in front of an American flag with the words "fight, fight, fight." Oh my God. Despite the radical left's forced shutdown of our government, the facts are clear. Under the historic leadership of Donald Trump, our nation is entering its 250th anniversary stronger, more prosperous, and better than ever. A Treasury Department spokesperson said in a statement. While a final $1 coin design has not yet been selected to commemorate the U.S. the first draft reflects well the enduring spirit of our country and democracy, even in the face of immense obstacles. Oh, dear God. Dear God. Right. Living presidents don't get to be on a coin. You don't. That is for dictators. Living presidents do not get to be on coins. You don't. Oh my God. Even Reagan didn't do that. Wow. Wow. Congress has imposed various restrictions on the ability of the Treasury to feature living people and living presidents on its currency. It's not clear whether the latest Trump coin would run afoul of those laws. I mean, it would, but who's going to stop him, right? Wow. Wow. Jesus Christ. Yeah, Treasury. It's Besant sucking up to him. Jesus Christ. I mean, again, fascist, dictatorship, authoritarian government, no longer a democracy. This is, I mean, the thing is, it literally is fascism. I mean, the sort of the strongman bullshit. It's sickening. It's absolutely sickening. Again, this is where you shut down the government and say, you know what? Now we've got another demand. There's not going to be a freaking coin. Guys, he's going to put himself on Mount Rushmore. He will go to Mount Rushmore and have it bulldozed and put himself on it so that there's nothing anybody can do. Now, again, Democrats come to power and those coins are gone. Democrats come to power and I would literally bulldoze him off of Mount Rushmore, but he's going to do all of this crap. He's going to do all of this crap. Absolutely sickening. Absolutely sickening. I'd put him on the coin in prison stripes. He wants to be on a coin? Great. Man. Yeah, thanks, guys. Thank you, Ash. Yeah, that was a weird one, wasn't it? Man, unbelievable, this stuff. Absolutely unbelievable. Jesus. He's not going to get impeached. He's not going to get impeached. You have to have Democrats controlling the House and the Senate, and it's got to be an overwhelming majority in the Senate. It can't just be a simple majority. It's never going to happen. He's not going to be impeached. Democrats have to get into power in the House of Representatives, and basically they can stop it. Then Republicans have to negotiate the budget. They can investigate everything till the cows come home. The Trump people will try to say no, and they probably will. Trump will keep pardoning them. I mean, you know, they can impeach him in the House, but I don't know the Democrats will do that again. I think Democrats will be afraid that it'll look bad. He should be impeached after he leaves. That's for sure. Man. Oh, I know about that, Lozilla. I will say, yes, TikTok took one of my videos about Trump and is limited. They did this. It's like a month old now or 2 months old. They limited the distribution, but because they limited it, it now has been seen by 3 million people. People were so pissed about not being able to share it. They started sharing it one by one with people. So no, I've got jasmine rice I'm having with my orange chicken from the grocery store. So, oh my God. Yes. When and if Democrats get elected, man, unbelievable. I just can't even believe the coin thing. I mean, I saw you writing it on TikTok and I was like, what $1 coin? I mean, I thought it was going to be Charlie Kirk coin, Donald Trump coin, of course. Man, that's the thing too. The next year, I can't believe he's going to be president for this. Next year is the 250th anniversary of the country, and he's going to be in charge. I mean, oh, God, his face on a coin, literally. Dead presidents get to be on the coin. Living presidents do not. Do not. And again, in America, we don't do this. And it's yet another thing where these people aren't going to care. His voters they're going to be like, yay, sounds good. Sounds good. You know, man, sickening. Anyway, Unbelievable. Yeah, whatever. I'm just so tired of these people. We're still going to keep fighting them, but man, because now I got to finish the show and do a video, another TikTok about the damn coin. God, he's got over 3 years left in office. He's got 3 years and 4 months left. Actually, 3 years and 5 months left in office. Well, no, 3 years and 4 months. Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible. All right, guys, I'm going to go because now I've got to do a TikTok video and then I'm going to have dinner. Thank you, Dave. Tomorrow morning, remember, 11 a.m. Eastern, we've got the hangout with all of you guys, with all of the paid monthly subscribers. And then Sunday is our special hangout for the VIP folks, the $25 a month folks, which is the same time, 11 a.m. Eastern on Discord and YouTube. So please do check us out. All right. All right. Dinner is orange, my orange chicken that I've not had in a while. I felt like getting it again. All right, guys, I'm going to sign off. Discord. Oh, a couple of folks. Oh, you guys are still here. Hey, Visionary, Macias, and JTA. Good to see you guys. Have a good night. Doop. All right. YouTube. See you, YouTubers. And TikTok. You